Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking the stack of sources you sent over and we're heading down the South Shore. We're going to anchor ourselves firmly in Hull, Massachusetts. Our mission is to look at the combined single-family and condo market data for October 2025. We want to deliver the core insights, not just, the numbers, but what they actually mean.
Exactly. We're trying to cut through the noise. And I can tell you right up front, based on the three core metrics we always look at, velocity and pricing, October in Hull was, well, it was a hyper-competitive, aggressive seller's market.
Okay, hyper-competitive. Let's unpack that.
You're seeing extreme pressure on both supply and speed.
Let's start with supply then. That's always where the story begins. Looking at the active listings, we're clearly dealing with some major scarcity.
Yeah.
We only tracked 40 residential properties actively listed. That's single family and condos combined. Just 40.
40 properties, that is a minuscule pool to choose from. And when you translate that, you get the key metric, months of inventory, or MULE.
Right, and for Hull, that was just 3.27. I think we need to pause there because 3.27, it sounds like a small number, but what does that actually mean for someone trying to buy or sell right now?
It means profound scarcity. I mean, look, a bounce market is somewhere around 5 to 6 months of inventory.
Okay.
At 3.27, if not a single new home were listed, the entire inventory would be sold out in, a little over 3 months? It just screams seller's market.
And it's the trend that's important here too, right?
That's the crucial part. It was a drop of almost 11% from the month before. So that pool of inventory is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast.
And that shortage, it creates a real barrier to entry. We looked at the pricing brackets for those active single-family listings, and the bottom was just gone.
Gone.
Our data showed 0 active single-family listings below the $600,000 mark.
That's a powerful insight. It suggests that if you're a buyer hoping to get into Hull at a lower price point, you are, for all practical purposes, shut out of the current market.
But I want to throw a wrench in here, a data point that seems kind of contradictory. Despite all this talk of scarcity and high barriers, the overall median list price in October was $795,000. That was actually a decrease of about 5.6% from September.
Right.
So if the market is so hot, why would the median list price dip?
That is a fantastic question. And it really speaks to the dynamics of these coastal markets. It suggests that maybe the super high-end stuff, the $1.2 million homes that were listed in September, they sold.
Ah, so they came off the books.
Exactly. So the new inventory that came on in October, while still expensive, was maybe more concentrated in that $700 to $950K range. It pulls the median down, even while demand is just spiking.
That makes sense. So we've got a high price floor, but maybe the shift in what's actually for sale.
For sure. The total market volume of those 40 active listings was still, very notable at over $5.5 million.
So let's turn the corner. Where does this inventory crunch meet demand?
This is the core story of October for Hull, market velocity. If you want to understand how competitive this market is, you have to look at speed and premium.
The speed metric is. It's genuinely startling. We look at median days in RPR, which is basically how long a house sits before it goes pending. The median was only 5 days.
5
days. That is the direct consequence of having only 3.27 months of inventory. It means half the properties sold in October went under contract in less than a week.
So you have to be ready to move. Instantly.
Financing lined up, ready to make a decision, no hesitation. And critically, that 5-day median, that's almost an 81% decrease compared to September.
An 81% drop. So the market basically went into overdrive.
Absolutely.
And the proof that this speed created fierce competition, that's in the second number, the sold to list price ratio.
Yes.
Buyers weren't just meeting the asking price. They were consistently paying above it. It came in at 101.6%.
And that 101.6%, which, by the way, was up almost 5% from the month before, means the bidding wars are getting more intense.
So sellers are pricing their homes competitively, and buyers are immediately topping it by an average of 1.6%.
That's the story. All that velocity and premium, in turn, drove the median sold price up sharply. It hit $740,000.
An 11.7% jump in a single month. That's massive appreciation.
And if you zoom out, what's the longer-term context?
Well, this is where it gets even clearer. That $740,000 median sold price, it's up a staggering 70% from just 3 years ago.
70%.
70.11% to be exact. 3 years ago, the median was $435,000. For a long-term homeowner, that is, That's just life-changing.
To ground this in reality, let's look at some of the 10 closed sales from October. These really bring that 5-day number and the 101% premium to life.
Absolutely. Take the home on Strawberry Hill for Prospect Ave.
Right, listed as a stunning cape with water views.
It went off the market in 6 days, right in line with that median.
Right.
And it sold for just over $1 million, above its $959,000 list price. A perfect example.
Speed meets premium.
Exactly.
And the competition was even fiercer for some others. Look at 16th Street on Sunset Point. Described as a well-loved family home. It was listed at $999,000, which, that's clearly designed to get multiple offers.
And it did its job.
It certainly did. The final sale price jumped to over $1.2 million, gone in 7 days.
That tells you buyers are fighting for turnkey quality in those prime spots.
We even saw quick movement in the luxury sector. A property on Harborview Road near Stony Beach. City views, gym, sauna, the works.
Right, listed at $2.2 million.
It sold at list price in 14 days. Which, 14 days is slower than the 5-day median.
But for a $2.2 million property, that is still moving incredibly fast.
What's fascinating, though, is that even in this kind of hyperspeed market, not everything is a guaranteed bidding war. We have to look at the outliers.
This is so important. Why did some properties lag? We saw a ranch at 33 D Street sell for $649,000.
Exactly, at list price after 14 days. No premium.
Right. And then there's the property on Sagamore Terrace. Great views of the ocean and bay, but it was on the market for 49 days.
49 days. That's an eternity in this market. And it sold slightly under its original list price.
It did. It sold for $610,000 from a $625,000 list.
So what do you make of those? If the market is this fast, taking 49 days suggests a friction point somewhere.
It absolutely does. In a market where buyers are waiving everything, these slower sales tell you where they draw the line. Maybe for Sagamore Terrace, the condition was dated, or the views weren't enough to overcome some inspection issue.
So buyers are willing to pay a premium for speed and perfection.
But if a property needs significant work or money, they'll pump the brakes, even with low inventory. They'll demand a concession or they'll just move on.
That adds a really crucial layer of nuance here.
It confirms that pricing and conditions still matter. A lot.
Speaking of broader context, let's just quickly touch on estimated values in rentals.
Sure. The median estimated property value was around $676,000. It showed a tiny dip last month, but the overall trend is still up, about 1.9% over the last year.
And the rental market?
Still tight. Median list price for a lease was sitting at $2,950 a month. We also noted minor signs of distress, 2 properties with a newly filed complaint in October.
So let's bring it all together. What is the single most important takeaway for someone watching the whole market right now?
The takeaway is synthesis. The extremely low inventory, that 3.27 months of inventory, is the engine. It's driving all the velocity. And that speed dictates that buyers have to be under intense pressure, prepared to offer over asking, and do it within about a 5-day window. Hull is not a market for the faint of heart.
So this raises an important question then. Given that the median days on market is only 5 and buyers are consistently paying over asking, how much higher could the median sold price actually climb if inventory stays this constrained going into the winter? The imbalance doesn't really show any sign of correcting yet.
It's the key question.
If you have any questions about this deep dive, or thinking about buying or selling your house anywhere on Boston's South Shore, give Jim Aldred a call. He would like to help you. You can reach Jim at mobile 339-987-0382, or shoot him an email at jimaldredrealtor@yahoo.com, or visit his website, www.kwmass.com.